Welcome to part 2 of question number 10. And we're looking at the rate of change, which is delta y over delta x, which gave us 0.03. And then the initial value. The initial value is when the x is equal to 0. What's the y value? Okay, it's right here. Okay, so the initial value is 5. Okay, it's where it crosses the y-axis, by the way. This is also called the y-intercept. Okay, so the initial value is 5, and the rule is going to be y is equal to ax plus b. The a is the rate of change, and the b is your initial value. Okay, so y equals 0.03x plus 5. What can you say about the graph of this function? Well, many things. It's red, it is a, well, later on they're asking you for direct variation, so it's a direct variation, but it's a straight line graph, but it doesn't pass through the origin. It's got a nice positive slope, so it's an increasing function. All right, so it's a straight line through 0, 5 with a positive slope, so it's increasing. E, determine the type of function. Is it a constant function? No. A direct variation linear function? Sure. Okay, I would just call it a direct variation function, but linear, yes, because it's a line. Okay, is it a partial variation linear function? Sorry, it's not direct variation, it's partial variation. Okay, not directly proportional. So we would call it not direct variation. That's wrong. So we call it a partial variation function. In what interval are the values of the following? In what interval are the values of the following variables? Okay, what's the interval of the independent variables? So that's the x variables. So we're going from 0. It's the least amount of papers you can ask to be photocopied and bound, up to a maximum of 400. So 0 to 400. And for the dependent variables, we're starting at 5. And then when we have 400, what we'd have to do is do 0.3 times 400, which is, what's that? That's 12, and 5 is 17. Okay, so we would go from 5 as the lowest to 17 as the highest. When the variable number of pages increases, how does the other variable behave? Okay, so as the x increases, do the y's increase or decrease? Okay, they're going up as well. So increases, all right? Notice this is an increasing function. It's going up. If you read as you go left to right, if someone was running around along this graph going left to right, they would have to run uphill. Okay, so it's going up. All right, for how many pages will the document cost? 1025. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my equation and I'm going to replace the y, because that's the cost, with 1025. Okay, and then solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and that gives me 525, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 0.03, and that gives me x is equal to 175. Okay, and then for question number 2, what I'm going to do is replace the y with 1169 and then solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and that gives me 669 is equal to 0.03x, and then divide by both sides by 0.03, and that gives me x is equal to 223. Okay, so for 223 pages, it will cost you $11.69. And that's it for question number 10. Have a good day.